Hey, what is going on, guys? TalkNorwichCity here, back for another video. I hope you guys are doing fantastically well. And as always, thank you for all of the support on the recent videos. It really does mean a lot. Today, I'm back for a video talking about that man, Grant Holt. We all love him. What a player he was for Norwich City. And he's kind of come out and said that if an offer came his way, he certainly wouldn't turn it down to come back to Norwich City, which has given excitement to a lot of Norwich City fans, that's for sure. I posted the quote he said in the EDP, which was, "Everyone knows I would put the Norwich City shirt back on in a heartbeat." I put that with a little video and put, "Share this if you would take Holty back at Carrow Road." That went on to get 497 shares, which is quite a lot, and 18,000 views on my Facebook page. Little plug there, Talk Norwich City, go over there, loads and loads of original content over on my Facebook page. So, yeah, Grant Holt basically said on Mustard TV that Norwich City need to sign young, hungry, keen players if we want to get back into the Premier League, like we done under Paul Lambert to have that double promotion. We need to go back to that method rather than signing good players that had been 2 years ago. But he then went on to say, as I just said, everyone knows I'd put the Norwich City shirt back on in a heartbeat. But what he was pretty much saying was that isn't the method Norwich City should go down. But if an offer did come about, he wouldn't turn it down. So I went to you guys on Facebook and Twitter and all of them good social media platforms to say, you know, would you take Holty back? The first one's from Kev Barnbrook on Facebook. He says, while we're at it, we might as well ask you and Roberts, Real Fox and Jeremy Goss to come back. He's clearly thinking that Holty's a bit past it. Tim Johnson says, come on NCFC board, bring him home. Ivan Borum says, that's what was missing this season, an out-and-out handful in front of goal. Matthew Minot with an interesting point here says, and I'd bring him back as a player/coach just so he had a bit more bottle and leadership. Never replaced him in both captain or a goal scorer. Players like Grant Holt are 1 in 1,000 and need to be treasured. That's an interesting point, and that's been raised a few times by various people. Yeah, would bringing him back on sort of a coach help? You know, he could certainly teach our attackers a thing or two and certainly bring something to the table, because Grant Holt wasn't just a footballer for Norwich City. He was the ethos that Norwich City were all about, you know, hard work, determination and grit. And he was the man who sort of fought us forward. It was him, Lambert and Houlihan sort of that got us them double promotions, such brilliant times. And you know, you do think to yourself, would Holty bring something to the table here? Scott Taylor says on Twitter, from an outside perspective, he's a legend to you lot. Get him back as a coach, help Carlton Morris, etc., like Fowler does at Liverpool. Another point there to bring him back as a coach. Now, James Mackay says no, because despite the amount of love I have for him as a Canary, I think he's reaching a point where he's too old. And that's an interesting point, actually. I've got his statistics up here. He had a fantastic goal-scoring record for Norwich City, pretty much 1 in 2 for us. But since then, he's only gone on to score, 4, 6, 8 goals in about 70 games. And all of them goals coming in the Championship and League One and League Two. So his goal-scoring record certainly hasn't been prolific. But it's in the back of my mind, like, would I want Holty back? I'd love to see him in a Norwich City shirt. He's been playing some like charity games and stuff this week, so he's been all kitted up, but I just miss him in the Norwich City shirt. I don't think that Grant Holt is obviously going to fire us back into the Championship, into the Premier League like he done the previous time he was at us from 2009 to 2013, but it certainly brings something to the club. Even if it's on a pay-as-you-play, maybe sub him on a couple of times from the 60th minute onwards just to bring us over the line. Holty isn't the player that he once was. Even in his last season at Carrow Road, I think he was starting to age a bit, starting to get off the pace, and since then he's had a horrible injury and hasn't really done much. But, you know, it's the fans' connection with Grant Holt that could really do something special. And I just think he could do something at the club. I would be very surprised if Grant Holt doesn't have some part to play in next season, whether that be as a coach, as maybe a player, who knows. Because Grant Holt's currently living in Norwich with his family. His kids go to school here. He loves Norwich as a city in general. He's been doing a lot of media work with Mustard and Radio Norfolk. He said at the Tales from the City event last year that he's probably going to stay in Norwich now. He's a free agent. He's willing to play. I doubt he's going to play for another team. another league football team. You never know, he might go to somewhere like Lowestoft. He's too good for that level, but I'm just putting it out there. I doubt he's going to play for another maybe League One team or Championship team. The only clubs around here are like Colchester, Peterborough, Ipswich. He's never going to go there, or us. He's not going to move back up north. I would doubt it. He said that he wants to live in Norwich. So who knows? It's an option. I want to know your thoughts on Grant Holt. Would you take him back at Norwich City? Leave it in the comments section down below. Leave it a like as well if you'd love to see Grant Holt back at Norwich City. They're my thoughts. I think he could do a job, not as a player, maybe as a player, but he's not going to be that man, that talismanic figure who fires 20 goals in next season and takes us over the line. He might score a couple, but he's certainly not the player he once was. But as a coach or as someone in some capacity of the club, I think he can up the bottle, the determination of these players and teach players like Carlton Morris and players who we bring in to become true footballers. So they're my thoughts on Grant Holt. I'd love to hear yours. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.